Can you be a bit louder, please? I guess I am not able to hear you properly. A bit louder, please.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Hello.
It is better. It is better, ma'am.
Hello, Shruti ma'am, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now.
Hi, Shobit. How are you?
All well, all good. How are you? Long time.
Yeah, I'm good. There are so many network issues here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Actually.
Yeah. Okay. We'll actually
My voice
request
is
Ayush.
cracking. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you. Ayush, can you hear?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, Ayush.
Hello, sir.
In the session.
Good morning, sir.
Because we interned under Shobit and you yourself introduce the speaker and then we start with Shobit's session.
Okay, sir. Very good morning, everyone. It's a request to everyone, kindly mute your mics and switch off your video cameras. It's our honorable guest who will be chairing this session and accept the faculties present. Starting with this session now, I have been given this wonderful opportunity to introduce our honorable chief guest, Mr. Sobhit Bhatta, sir. Sir, we welcome you from the whole DNLU fraternity, and it's a pleasure to have you on board with us. Also, I would like to thank Placement Cell of our university to organize this wonderful webinar series, which will help in developing future prospects of students of starting with brief introduction of our honorable guest. Shobhit sir is currently working with Link Legal India Law Services, New Delhi, as an associate with insolvency and bankruptcy team. His achievements in past workings, he has advised clients on loan agreements, corporate debt restructuring and refinancing. He also handles drafting of and vetting of commercial agreements. His area of interest are company and commercial laws, real estate and project financing. Previously, Shobhit sir has worked with Dhirendir Associates and Adwaita Legal. Sir has completed his BA LLB from National Law University, Odisha. At NLEO, he was awarded 2 consecutive scholarships for 2 years because of his incredible all-round performance in law school. Now, other than his workings and achievements, which are countless, Shobhit sir is very friendly in nature. I know this because I worked under his guidance while I was interning in Link Legal India Law Services. I cannot forget those days, as on the very first day, sir gave me right to the office, and he used to ask me on daily basis what work I have done and whether I am enjoying it or not. Uh, I gained a lot under his guidance, and it's my pleasure that I got connected with you, sir. Now the stage is over to you, sir. Hope for the session to be informative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayush. I thank the IPAC members of DNLU and Utkarsh especially for giving this opportunity of interaction with you guys. Ayush interned with me, and during that internship, this idea of bringing all of you together and and have an interaction sort of a thing, so that we understand how the typical corporate law structure in a law firm works. So I'll start off with the couple of examples, and then we will go into the questions. uh, See, in a corporate law practice, there are several branches. For example, if you see, so when you say corporate, it is basically commerce. It is basically business, and business are run in either of the two modes, and or a mix of both, which is a debt or a capital structure. Now, when I say a debt, it is in the simple name and terms, it is a loan. The other is the capital, wherein we talk about a lot of equity. So the area of practice that we are about to discuss, that is insolvency, it has a genesis somewhere or the other in the banking finance transaction. Utkarsh, I am audible, Ayush?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Yes,
you're
sir, you are
audible.
audible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
perfect,
are
perfect.
audible.
So the genesis of any insolvency and bankruptcy, transaction or a matter arises from the fact that there is a existing loan. So I'll just tell you in brief how, and how the loan transaction works. So in a loan transaction, they are typically one lender, a banking institution, a public finance institution in some cases, and a borrower. Now, borrower may be doing anything, right from developing a real estate project to producing a power. So to run that project, he gets some certain finances, which are called the project finances. Now, when I say financing here, whenever I'm say financing, financial assistance, it is all loan. Okay. Now, when you take a loan, then thereafter your repayment starts. At some point of time, when the borrower is unable to pay its loan to the lender, that product of the lender, because if you see, for a bank, a loan is a product that it gives to its customer, and the interest is the amount of surplus or a profit that the bank earns over a period of time. So for a bank or a banking entity, that loan is an asset. Now if you don't pay back the loan or the EMI installments, it amounts to you being a loan taker. You, for a bank, you will be a non-performing asset. So if you don't pay anything, you will become a non-performing asset for a bank, and then bank recourse has a right to take a recourse under the law for the enforcement of its loan or the amount which is due to the bank. Earlier, when IBC was not in picture, there were several different laws like SARFAESI, recovery of debt due to recovery of debt laws, and some limitations act, and other civil acts as well. What IBC has done is IBC has combined all the law together, or rather I'll say they have done away with the requirement of going to a different forum altogether and enforcing your rights. So they have given a combined code wherein you as an individual or a creditor or as a bank can enforce your loan towards, or a security interest towards a loan that is given. So for a IBC, you must remember that there is a loan, and loan के लिए separate we have a transaction which is a banking and finance transaction. So with this, I would like to take up the first question of yours, which is what is IBC? So IBC is a code wherein the lender, that is a creditor, or a debtor can come and say that it is becoming insolvent, so that the management of the company is taken over by any other person. And it is a time-bound resolution framework, unlike any other law, recovery law, where there was no hard stop date. It comes with a hard stop date of 180 days plus 90 days in certain cases. 270 is the highest number of days wherein all the insolvency resolution process has to complete. Utkarsh, should I go question by question, or there are some question in between as well?
Answering the questions you received, and then we'll have the other questions from the students.
All right. Okay. The second question here is, what does the route to insolvency and bankruptcy practice look like after having freshly graduated from college? So guys, there are many opportunities. If you ever heard of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, I'll just show you on the screen. Oh, so the screen sharing is disabled. Not a worry. So if you visit to Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India website, you'll find many opportunities which is there for a fresh law graduate. They hire manager legal, assistant manager legal, who are freshly graduated. Also, any firm in the market wherever they have a banking finance and a project finance, practice, they will certainly have a insolvency wing with them, and they are, it's a very fresh law, and there are many opportunities in the market, many, and especially in the law firms and in Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. Now, coming to the in-house opportunity, like working in a bank or working in some sort of a company, you will find that they will require a much more experienced lawyers. So for a fresh graduate, you should start off with a law firm or an independent counsel. The next question is, what is the Indian legal framework for commercial laws and regulatory compliance? So for a commercial laws and or if you want to check the regulatory compliances, we always start off with the Indian Contract Act, because everything starts with someone agreeing to do something and someone agreeing to not to do something, or there's a consideration in place, there are certain guarantees in the picture, there are certain obligations in the picture. So first of all, we start with the Indian Contract Act. Then if we see what is the vehicle that is driving the transaction, if it is a company, if it is a partnership firm, or whether it is a sole proprietor or it is a Hindu undivided family, what kind of business structure is this, or a trust which is running. So then we see the relevant law. Like in case of a company, we go into the Companies Act, because whenever a company does something, there are certain regulatory compliances which follows from the Companies Act 2013. Similarly, when a trust or a Hindu undivided family or a cooperative society or a sole proprietor does something, or a partnership firm does something, then there are separate laws for them. So on the basis of the nature of the business structure, there are different law. Then you come to a different level of regulatory compliances, which are governed by RBI, because RBI sets the guiding principle for all the banks, and insolvency, one way or the other, commences when wherever there is an insolvency, there is always a lender or a bank is in picture. So the RBI guidelines are also taken into care. Then supposedly your that transaction, whenever you are doing certain transaction in an insolvency, and if you see the shares are listed or the company is listed, then we do, and then we of course get into the compliances which has been put forward by the Security and Exchange Board of India, the SEBI. So that is it. Then if there are certain threshold that has been crossed, then certain requirement under the Competition Act is also taken care of, because the threshold value sometimes under the insolvency framework, what happens is some X person comes with a resolution plan wherein he intends to buy the company, and if there are the threshold which are breached, which are set by the Competition Commission of India, if they are breached or if they are closed up, we take approval from the Competition Commission of India. So these are the regulatory compliances and the other applicable laws for a typical insolvency and bankruptcy court transaction. Then how should one prepare for the field in college and afterwards? See, you have to be very, very clear that if you want to pursue insolvency ahead or not. First, I would like you guys to read a bit about commerce, right from demand and supply to, you have to read certain topics of economics. You have to have that hold on what is business, how does a business works, both at the micro level, at the macro level. Then when you come to preparing yourself for the next stage, you should prepare and start reading with upfront with the plain code without commentary. Just read the insolvency and the bankruptcy code, and just whatever terms you come across, you should try to look into the other laws. For example, while you reading a insolvency and bankruptcy code, if you come across certain words like a company, like a holding company, like the term control, they all falls back to the Companies Act 2013. So it's not only the reading of the insolvency and the bankruptcy code which helps. It will be a the all around reading of the commercial laws, especially 3 or 4 laws should be at your fingertips, like the Companies Act, the Indian Contract Act should be handy and ready at your fingertips. Then the Transfer of Property Act is one very important subject, because whenever you deal with the banks, there are a lot of property that are mortgaged to the bank or given as a security to the bank, for as a security for the due repayment of the loan. And from where your everything starts from the term loan. So loan related aspect, be it security, be it hypothecation like SARFAESI, which has been given SARFAESI, then in pledge, then you again go back to the Indian Contract Act. So whenever you come across any term, try to find it into the specific law which defines certain word, and then read it. So it's a whole soul of, it's a reading. It's first start off with a reading. So once you get a reading of it, then I'll request you guys to go through the website of IBBI. They time and again call for the internships, and I will like you guys to join it, because it's a paid opportunity. It is not heavy on your pocket as well. So if you can able to ace that internship, you will learn a lot. Then at your level, at the second, third year, first year, what you can do is you can intern with the independent counsel who are dealing with the corporate law insolvency cases. I'm sure there's a NCLT in MP as well, and yeah, please feel free to ask question as well, guys. Then what we can do, and then the next stage comes of a law firm, wherein so what happens in a law firm, someone tried to assess you in a very short period of time, like in 10-20 days. So I would recommend that before coming to a law firm, you should have that training, you should have that reading, back there should be a history of reading with you. There should be a proper knowledge of at least of the subject when it comes to the theoretical aspect of the subject. Practical knowledge you will get to learn with the time. Whenever I do a transaction, I learn one thing or the other. It's not like we are all 100% pro or a professional in the field. We are still learning, so the learning never stops. So to sum up, you are required to read the insolvency law, you are required to read the Indian Contract Law, the Companies Act, the Transfer of Property Act. This is the beginning. This is the set of laws that you should read at the beginning. Then intern at IBBI. Try to intern at IBBI. They teach a lot, because they are the dedicated body, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. Everything revolves around the insolvency and bankruptcy practice there. Once you go through it, is that then come to a independent counsel, see the matters, how the filing takes place, and then come to a law firm, wherein you have because law firm opines on the transaction as well, and they run the transaction as well, and they litigate as well. So you will be ready with all those things. वहाँ पे आपको कोई if I have to dilute what I am to say, that in the law firm typically no one will come to you and say कि भाई ये पढ़ लो and then do something. That is not there. They assume that you have a knowledge of that thing. Coming to the next question.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Sir, actually, can you just highlight the importance of internship and what role does internship plays in building a career in the very same field? Because many of our students are having a doubt that internships are a waste of time, and what role does it play? So please, can you highlight and brief the students?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So good that you pointed out. This is Shruti, right? Yeah, thank you, Shruti.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So see, guys, don't take your internships lightly. Number one rule, it's a thumb rule. And second rule is, please intern wherever possible, whenever possible. The golden rule to success in a legal fraternity is, when you do an internship, it says a lot. 10 moods, 5 new moods, nothing doing for a law firm, 6, 7, 8 good internship opportunities, you get a good job offer. As simple as that. Tanishka, you can check IBBI website. Like every 6 months they open their forum for the internship. What you can do is you check, keep on checking. Due to COVID situation, there may be deferment, and there will be no particular timelines. But please keep on checking. So coming back to the original question, internship. See, internship is really, really important. If you don't believe, you can ask Ayush how important the internship is and how serious the other law students are for the internship. And mind you, it is the closest to a job. When I say this, it means it gets you closest to a job, to your dream job. So once, if you are interning in a very good firm for a good period of time, it is certain to help you to get a PPO or a job. And we have, Utkarsh will agree to it, we have certain people from our college, both senior at our batch level, who continued to work with the same firm all throughout, at least in the 4th and 5th year, and they got the pre-placement offer or the job offer, or maybe or whenever they applied there, and because already interned there, they have got through. This happened with me also at some level, but having said so, it has to be very, very systematic. I was not aware, even all of us may not be aware during our college times, but there were no one who could tell us how to go about the acing a job or something. We were mainly learning the law innocently somewhere back in Odisha. What I'll suggest you guys is, now things are becoming more and more result oriented rather than the learning portion of it. So you should have a strategy in place, and hence see, now you can see more of active internship and the placement board, more of webinars, more of people coming and telling you this. The strategy, the simple strategy should be, take your internship very, very seriously. Always intern, wherever intern, wherever intern, whenever possible. If you get a 15 days break, try to intern. Just try to intern. There's nothing called 21 days, 28 days. That is all, stories. 15 days, good enough to put in your CVs. Just go and intern, so that, if I have to recruit someone writing 10 papers and someone doing 5 internship, I will take 5 internship. Now I'll just
Shobit, can I interfere for a minute? Yeah, Ayush Singhal was asking that we don't have insolvency and bankruptcy subject in our law school. How should one go about doing this in future? So I must inform that some portion of it will be taught in corporate law, and insolvency and bankruptcy as such is an optional paper which will be offered to you the moment you start your honors in 5th or 6th semester. So optional papers will be there, electives will be there. Depending upon your interest, you can choose the paper.
Absolutely. Ayush, just to add you more, just to supplement what Utkarsh just said, see, this is a very new law, 2016. Law school curriculum is which is established by the UGC and all. This is a practically new subject, which when I say this, you have to trust me on this, that some portion or the other will be taught in the different subjects. Like, for example, if I mentioned certain things about guarantee, certain things about Companies Act, they are taught and mentioned in the different laws. Now, what IBC has simply done is, IBC has just combined all of them together in one separate and that is why that is named as a code, not as an act. So it is a, it's a conclusion of several law combined into one place, so that I don't have to look into several different law when I am dealing with certain matters. However, while saying so, of course, I have to fall back to certain other concept of law which are well established in separate laws, like Transfer of Property Act. I cannot bring those subject here. I can only talk about the enforcement portion of it, and hence the IBC as a code which has been established, not as an act. Yeah, so please take very seriously your internship. The underlying, and whenever I will finish my session, I'll say, guys, internship is really important. You cannot believe what an amazing opportunity the internship is until and unless you get very closer to your job. You might take it lightly that you are wasting your time, you're wasting your holidays. Trust me, if you're not doing internship, you're wasting your time. Then you're wasting your 5-year law school. And see, in the recent times, like if this COVID is due to continue, or maybe some other pandemic which may arise in future, there will be a lot of subjects or internship opportunity will be available online. So try doing that, and never take your internship lightly, be it in a district law forum. So having said so, I am now returning to the next question.
Thanks, sir.
Pardon, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So this is Shruti this time.
Yeah, okay. Next question is, how should one prepare for this field in college and afterward? So as I said, start reading IBC, follow IBBI website. I'll just show you the website here. This is the website, guys. So you can subscribe to the news, write your email address here. Can you see the screen, Utkarsh? Yeah. So there are quick links like tenders, other stakeholders, and careers also. Okay, these are the, last, you can see it was August 2018, guidelines and application for the internship with IBBI. So time and again, they ask for the student community to come as an intern with them. Then what you can do is, next is you have to read a lot on the articles written by certain people from the industry on Mondac. So don't follow Quora. Quora is very layman, very generic. Like if you want to find a nearby restaurant or a good restaurant, which of course not during these times, that that's a newer version of Just Dial, that is Quora. You should follow Mondac. Mondac is a very professional platform, and
Yeah, even I agree. I agree with what Shobhit is saying. Mondac has some very good articles from Nishit Desai and many other law firms. Especially Nishit Desai's articles and research work is available on Mondac. And Mondac not only gives you national news but international news as well.
Absolutely,
and Shobhit, you will agree with me on this. Even
Absolutely.
I follow Mondac personally, and through this session, thank you so much, Shobhit, that you brought this to the students' knowledge. That all of you please note it down, that please follow and subscribe Mondac. They will regularly keep on sending you emails. You can read so many articles, and especially on commercial law, you will find ample material on it. Please continue, Shobhit.
Yeah. So very important thing is the Mondac. Second thing is, I just want to place it on your screen also. This is the Indian corporate law blog. which is very, very important, guys. This is a blog which talks about both theory and as well as practice. This is run by Mr. Omakant Verotel. He's a professor at National University of Singapore. He was the ex-partner at the Shardul, or in fact, it was AMS, Amarchand Mangaldas, Shardul and Shroff at that time when we don't had the split between the brothers. He was the Delhi partner, and he went on to join National University of Singapore, and he's a brilliant corporate law teacher and a practitioner as well. So he writes, he vets the articles. So if you see the students writing it, however, it has been vetted by him. So if you check all these things, this will make you prepare for your course to the practice of the insolvency and bankruptcy. Second is, once you do the reading, try to intern at a place which has a banking finance and a project finance practice, because as I said, and we joke about it internally in a law firms, that banking finance lawyer create opportunity for an insolvency lawyer, because when there is a no loan in picture, there will be no default. So we say we draft certain things, we loosely draft certain things so that you get a job. So that's an internal joke inside a law firm that we actually feed you. So try to intern at a banking finance or a project finance team with a law firm before interning with the insolvency team, because once you know about how the loan takes place, what is the structure of a typical loan transaction, what kind of security that are offered, what kind of covenants or a representation that or condition that are put forward in a loan agreement. Because once there is a default, your loan agreements, the condition put forth by the lend for the recovery, they are read in a meeting of a creditors, or in the adjudicating authority, or before the forum, wherever the case went. Like for example, there's also a question soon I'll be interesting to it, why there are different adjudicating authority. As simple as, because see, everything falls back for law, everything falls back to the history or the norm which were being applicable. So we see there are two types of adjudicating authority. One is a DRT and one is a NCLT. Why NCLT? Because there is a corporate body in picture, like your company. However, your partnership firm or an individual is not a corporate body. So for them, a debt recovery tribunal is used as an adjudicating body. We could have used debt recovery tribunal for adjudicating authority for the companies as well, but it would have defeated the purpose of the company law board under the Companies Act. So that is why, to keep the consistency with the Companies Act, at least NCLT has been nominated, has been appointed as has been established as a adjudicating authority for the body corporate like the companies. Moving on, so again, coming back, so there's a lot of mix match which is going on between the question. Coming back to how one should prepare for the field in college and afterward is, one, by starting reading IBC. Please read IBC. You will not understand anything, that is okay. Just read it once, go through it. At least you will have कि हाँ भाई मैंने देखा था. I have gone through it. It has circled back from my eyes in front of me, so that you can recognize whenever you get stuck by it. Second is follow IBBI. धीरे धीरे you will get to understand. मतलब ये सेल्फ स्टडी का बेस्ट मेथड है. पढ़ते रहो, आ ही जाएगा. We have several students, like Utkarsh will agree, we have Rishabh, one person, Rishabh Ambar Gupta, who is a self-taught in the corporate law practice.
Yeah.
Even today he reads a lot.
Yeah.
There are Utkarsh, Ujjwal Satsangi, who self-made person in the antitrust law. So whenever anyone in the college had a problem in the antitrust law, the fallback person would be Ujjwal.
Yeah, Shobhit, we invited Ujjwal also yesterday.
I attended a bit of it. Then I had a meeting yesterday as well.
Yeah.
So please read Indian corporate law blogs. For a bit more professional stuff and bit more practical oriented stuff, go to Mondac, start reading it. And then just whenever you finish reading, or whenever you are reading, try to intern. And you can find certain report by Big Four. Now, who are Big Four? KPMG, EY, PwC, and PDS. These firms are the Big Four firms who prepare reports on the commercial angle. I'm getting a chat. Just a second. Mondac, yeah. So this is how you prepare for the yourself in a college. Even your college is not teaching, particularly IBC, because see, IBC will be and certainly be and should be the honors course during your penultimate years, not in the second, third year, because it will not serve the purpose today. Because for reading IBC, understanding all the concepts, you should have read there topics like Companies Act, under Transfer of Property Act, SEBI, which is not possible at first and second year. This of course has been recommended by the UGC. However, you can defeat that stereotype, read on your own and make yourself well versed with the law, and then you can pick it up anytime, because once you start having decision amongst yourself, try to establish a peer group, and of course will be the right person to tell you how a peer group will work, how we studied corporate law basically, in what circumstances we studied corporate law. So please make certain groups within yourself, dedicate 1 or 2 topics among yourself, discuss it whenever possible. See, it's not only about acing the mood, getting best memorial, getting yeah, I should just come back to your question. You're raising that, just coming back to it. Just try to make certain groups so that you discuss something. Like, I'm sure you may be having a debating society which are very active. You might have had a discussion on NRC as well. So
to all the students who are listening to Shobit, I'll just take a small amount of time to inform you that I, Shobit, and other students, all of us, we made a group while we were studying in National Law University, Odisha. And that group used to meet every day in the evening time, and especially for corporate law, because corporate law seems to be very tough. Whenever you hear the name of corporate law, it's दूर से ही लगता है कि अरे बहुत बड़ा नाम है, बहुत tough होगा. But when we ourselves started teaching ourselves, it became very simple. So let's say we were 10 people in that group. We used to divide those topics. Shobit was also actively participating. I also did. And we took some very clear topics, and then we used to teach all of us. And we took a special permission for it from the Vice Chancellor. We arranged a class for it. And the topic were distributed between the students, and everyday discussions were held. In a period of, I think, a month or so, we covered the whole corporate law, Shobit. And we learned it ourselves. So I think what Shobit is saying is a wonderful suggestion, and I totally support it. And students, you must try this. It's a very good suggestion.
Also just, I'll take this opportunity to say that I've been recently appointed as a campus coordinator for the Corporate Law Practice Center at Lloyd Law College in Noida. So I'll be heading that Corporate Law Practice Center. What we have done is we have established a chair. So one partner from Khaitan & Co., I worked with him earlier. He will be appointed as a chair, and then we will be conducting a lot of workshop, conferences, etc. So one way of doing is establish a proper corporate law practice center, invite people from across the India. We know a lot of people. We can help you with this. This will create a corporate wing in your college as well, because at the same time I understand out of 150 200 students that you are right now in the first and second year approximately, many of you are maybe interested at this point, maybe interested in the litigation or going into judiciary, but I am sure half of them may be confused about their career prospect, and which is very, very understandable, fine, and very fair, I must say, until and unless you explore everything, you will not be able to make a conclusive decision.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, for a matter of fact, that Utkarsh was born to be a teacher, but we experience every sort of thing. We experience internship, we experience mooting, writing, debating, everything, and then we left it for the penultimate years to decide what to do. So
Exactly.
try to achieve everything. Try to have everything on your CV at least.
Sir, that is why we keep on telling our students that you all should intern everywhere. क्योंकि जब तक ट्राई नहीं करोगे तो you won't be able to know कि actual real position वहाँ की क्या है. तो practicality approach करने के लिए it is very important for the students to intern everywhere.
I cannot agree more, ma'am. I cannot agree more because I haven't, every one of us, who all are graduating, working, teaching, we have all interned everywhere. We have left for the penultimate year, for our 4th and 5th year, to decide on what part we need to make our careers. But बहुत हिंदी की एक कहावत है कि भाई रोटी खाने वाला पूड़ी और पराठे क्या जाने. तो फॉर taste, you should know के what is पूड़ी, what is पराठा, what is अजवाइन की पूड़ी, and what is रोटी, and what is घी लगी रोटी. तो सब कुछ खाना चाहिए ताकि आप अपना टेस्ट डेवलप कर सको और एक स्टेपल डाइट फॉर योर लाइफ टाइम बना सको. I think we have a chat. I'll just go through.
Sir, adding to the puri and paratha example, I would also like to add the punchline of the Airtel ad, which says कि सब कुछ try करो फिर सही चुनो.
हाँ, absolutely. That is more appropriate. In fact,
Yes, sir.
Try everything and then fall back on something concrete wherein you will stuck to it. मतलब
Exactly.
In fact, मेरे को तो ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे कॉलेज में ऐसे लोग थे जो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन भी हैं. एंड वी हैव कॉलेज वी हैव स्टूडेंट के जो लॉ फॉर्म में जाके ड्रॉप आउट होके अपने 2 से 3 स्टार्टअप चला रहे हैं, लाइक अनंत जो इनफाइनाइट डिटूर चला रहा है और अपना मेमो पंडित चला रहा है, और उसका जेनेसिस मेमो पंडित का हमारे कॉलेज में हुआ था. तो
I agree.
यू वोंट बिलीव कि आपने एक जॉब भी पकड़ी, 1 साल जॉब भी किया, छोड़ के अपना वापस काम कर रहा है. सो यू नेवर नो कि आपको क्या काम में आ जाएगा लाइफ में. आज यू नेवर नो कि आज कोविड चल रहा है 6 महीने, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी डेफरमेंट इन द सैलरीज चालू हो गई है. अभी कितना फर्म्स अपने आप को मेंटेन कर पाएगा फॉर अनदर 3-4 months टू गो. क्लाइंट्स आर नॉट एबल टू पे, देयर हैंड्स आर टाइट, आवर लॉ फर्म्स आर देयर, कितना ही दे देंगी. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वो सब प्रमोटर ड्रिवन है, एवरीवन वांट्स टू सेव देयर पॉकेट. तो आगे के लिए क्या होगा कि व्हाट आई कैन सेंस इज कि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करेगा आगे, स्पेशली इन द डिजिटल फोरम्स, बिकॉज द डिजिटल इज द वे फॉरवर्ड टू द लाइफ. सो ट्राई एवरीथिंग. लिटिगेशन भी करो, जुडिशियल की प्रिपरेशन करना है करो, बट इंटर्नशिप को मत छोड़ना, क्योंकि यू आर नॉट श्योर यार. मतलब यू कैन नॉट गिव योर गारंटी कि मैं जुडिशियल निकाल ही लूंगा. नहीं, मतलब ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. कोई निकाल देता है, मतलब वेल एंड गुड, बट इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि आप निकाल लोगे. देयर इज नो गारंटी अटैच्ड टू इट. हाउएवर, व्हेन आई से कि देयर इज अ इंटर्नशिप अपॉर्चुनिटी दैट यू आर डूइंग, कर रहे हो, देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी टू एन एक्सटेंट ऑफ 70% 80% कि इट माइट गेट यू अ गुड जॉब.
Yeah.
डू एवरीथिंग पॉसिबल.
Yes, sir.
शोभित एक और पंचलाइन मुझे याद आ रही है. अभी श्रुति मैम ने भी एक पंचलाइन बोली. आई डोंट नो, आई थिंक इट्स ऑफ घड़ी डिटर्जेंट पाउडर. पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर सो या
you've been funny all the way. मतलब कैसा, how is the class typically, मतलब like Dolly Jabbal or something like Rangin used to teach?
Yeah, Shobit, I think we can discuss this on phone, not in front of students.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So second is, I'm coming on to the next question now. What things should be done in college if you want career in this field apart from mooting? So, see, it's a very new law, and imagine yourself to be in the 1955, wherein constitution is only just 5 years old. At that point of time, you'll have a lot of gray areas. Similarly, when we are sitting 4 year, 5 year down the line, where IBC is a very new concept, it has a very large scope for gray areas, large scope for research opportunities, and especially in the क्रॉस बॉर्डर इंसॉल्वेंसी कि भाई अगर एक कंपनी यहाँ हुई है एस्टेब्लिश बट उसका प्रोमोटर फॉरेन का है, या फिर इंडियन प्रमोटर्स हैं, फॉरेन की कंपनी है, इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी में इसको हम कैसे प्रोसेस करेंगे ट्रांजैक्शन को, क्रॉस बॉर्डर इंसॉल्वेंसी, बिकॉज दैट इन्वॉल्व्स अ couple of 2 or more jurisdictional laws to cater to. तो एक वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एरा है. पर्सनल इंसॉल्वेंसी में कई सारे इश्यूज है कि कैसे हम उनको हाउ, बिकॉज सी फॉर अ corporate insolvency we have a lot of laws, but for a personal insolvency, for an individual insolvency, we don't have any such law. आईबीसी का जो पार्ट चैप्टर है रिगार्डिंग द कॉर्पोरेट इंसॉल्वेंसी, उसका एक जेनेसिस है हमारे कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 में. वो 50 साल लॉ पुराना है, वो स्टैब्लिश प्रिंसिपल से चल रहा है. हाउएवर इंसॉल्वेंसी जब इंडिविजुअल का हो रहा है तो देयर इज नो सच सेट प्रिंसिपल्स. मतलब एक सिंपल सी प्रैक्टिस है कि डीआरटी में जाना है, बट उसको कितना ज्यादा एनहांस करते हैं वो भी अभी एक नया ग्रे एरिया है. मतलब इफ यू कैन रिसर्च ऑन सिमिलर approaches taken by several jurisdiction like Russia, Germany, New Zealand, Australia, UK, ये लोग कैसे कर रहे हैं, then you can check and research more. So अभी बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटी है फॉर रिसर्च अपॉर्चुनिटीज काफी ज्यादा है IBC में. Now second question is, I think I've already answered, is the other question is the sixth one, what can be the subjects or laws one should thoroughly know for this field. As I told you, the starting off with the Indian Contract Act, the Companies Act, Transfer Property Act, आप सरफेसी भी पढ़ लीजिए. ये सब broadly speaking ये वाले laws हैं. Just a second, getting a chat. Yeah. How to CV building, how to ace CV building in this field. पहले IBC पढ़ो, इंटर्न करें IBBI में, लॉ फर्म्स में, इंडिपेंडेंट काउंसिल के साथ मूव करें. IBC वाले अगर इसी फील्ड में रहना है तो केवल IBC के काफी सारे मूव्स हैं हमारे मार्केट में. पेपर्स लिखें और वेबिनार अटेंड करें. इंटर्नशिप बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और वेबिनार्स, ये सब क्या है, आपको प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच देता है. मूटिंग में माइंड यू आपको बहुत लिमिटेड थ्योरेटिकल एस्पेक्ट मिलते हैं, बट अगर आप कहीं काम करते हैं इंटर्नशिप या कहीं आप वर्कशॉप अटेंड कर रहे हो, you will get to learn the practical aspect of the law as well. What type of internship one should do for having career in bankruptcy law, and where one should so I think we have already I've already answered it. Intern with IBBI, law firms, independent counsel, and please intern for long period of time, because उससे क्या होगा, आप नजरों में आएंगे लोगों के, लोग they will entrust you with more work. Once you get more work, you will get more opportunities when it comes to a PPO or a job or an interview. At least if they ask you to sit on an interview also, that's a very good opportunity for a intern of a final year to sit.
Sir, adding to it, I would like to say it will help you build a network and contacts, which will help you in your profession later on.
Absolutely. I mean, the life of human beings is social.
Even I agree. Yeah.
So socialize तो करना ही है. Time and again, जिसके साथ काम किए हो, होली दिवाली विश करना ही है, हालचाल लेना है, ताकि नेटवर्किंग बनी रहे. Also when you intern at different places, ज़्यादा लोगों से मिलोगे. They will help you to go to other law firms. या मतलब आज कोई tier 2 में इंटर्नशिप करोगे तो कल tier 2 वाला tier 1 में आपकी इंटर्नशिप लगवा सकता है. डोंट टेक एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, डोंट बी एन अपॉर्चुनिस्ट के करना ही इसीलिए है कि हम धीरे धीरे ऊपर बढ़ सके, बट नेटवर्किंग इंपॉर्टेंट है. बिकॉज नेटवर्किंग ऐसे बनता है कि कुछ हाथ ले और कुछ हाथ दे, मतलब एक हाथ ले एक हाथ दे, मतलब आपको वहां अच्छा काम भी करना है. ऐसा नहीं है कि बस वो हो जाएगा. लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम पे तक करें. how should one build his career in insolvency and bankruptcy if do not have any subject in? तो I told you कि peer group बनाओ, IBC पढ़ लो खुद, इंटर्नशिप करिए, मोटिंग करिए, पेपर लिखिए, वर्कशॉप अटेंड करिए.
Apart from this, I think I clarified that this subject will be there in the optional papers, so need not worry. Okay.
Acha, there's one important question at this stage. Okay, how has the Indian insolvency law responded to the COVID-19 pandemic? So, once when the full lockdown was announced, any default after that is exempted to be dragged to the court. Nobody can claim insolvency for that period of time. Also, there are certain relaxation by RBI separately on the payment of EMIs by the big corporate house. Because everything is stopped, nobody is working. When work is stopped, revenue, cash flows, they all stop. So अभी सब कुछ रुका हुआ है, इसलिए RBI ने भी सब जगह मोरेटोरियम लगा रखा है. मोरेटोरियम का मतलब होता है when you are not required to pay back your loan, even the principal and the interest portion of it. So I guess
Shobit,
yeah.
there are questions from two students, Aditya Puri and Adhiraj. They're asking what type of the knowledge of commerce and economics, especially, plays a role in this field. Do they really know? Because as far as I know, these students, they take economics very lightly. So please elaborate how important is the knowledge of economics and commerce. Where is it significant in this field of insolvency and bankruptcy practice?
Correct, absolutely. See, this then, when I came to the 5-year law course, I saw that this is a BLLB program wherein we are learning economics, some are learning commerce as well, BBA student audit as well. I wondered why all such things are required. Why not we can do with certain normal subjects like math, because I was a PCM student, as you call it, during the class 10, 12. But then I realized that everything in and around law goes through these kind of subject. For example, if you take history, if I am dealing certain property matter, if I don't know the history, if I don't know how to trace the history, in fact, if I don't know the geography of the certain area, if I don't know, for example, in economics, if I don't know certain business activity, how do this kind of activity will run? How will this kind of activity generate funds? For example, some clients come to you, any client comes to you and asks you for certain kind of help. And if you are an independent counsel, you have to ask, you will have to tell them certain fees. How will you tell them fees? First of all, by digging deep in their pocket. And how will you be able to dig deep in your pocket? is कि भाई सामने वाला माइनिंग में है. अब माइनिंग में कोई होगा तो उसके पास कितना पैसा होगा वो वही जानेगा जो माइनिंग के बिजनेस को समझेगा. तो आपको कहते हैं ना कि मुर्गे को काटने के लिए खिलाना पिलाना पड़ता है. यहाँ पे दूसरी बात है कि अगर मुर्गे को काटना है तो उसके बारे में पढ़ना पड़ेगा आपको. तो यू नीड टू हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ एवरीथिंग प्लस लॉ. तो इट्स ऑल अंडर द सन प्लस लॉ, जिसमें से एक पोर्शन आया है आपका इकोनॉमिक्स एंड कॉमर्स, बिकॉज कमर्शियल साइड पे इस तरह के क्लाइंट्स पे आपको ज्यादा फोकस करना पड़ेगा. अब सपोज इकोनॉमिक्स में आपको कह रहे हो कि हम आपको डिमांड सप्लाई पढ़ा रहे हैं, कॉमर्स में आपको कुछ फॉर्मूला बताया जा रहा है, ऑडिटिंग का कुछ बताया जा रहा है, क्योंकि कल के दिन आपकी तरफ कोई मैटर आता है जहां पे कंपनी ने अपनी बैलेंस शीट को गलत तरीके से रख रखा है. अगर आपको नॉलेज नहीं होगी कि आप उसको वेट कैसे करोगे, आप उसमें फॉल्ट कैसे निकालोगे और उसको डिफेंड कैसे करोगे. So to defend something, you should know the exact concept of behind it, and hence the knowledge is required.
And I totally agree with Shobit. And in addition to what Shobit said, I'll add that let's say if someone is going for a research area in insolvency and bankruptcy, because insolvency and bankruptcy as such is a very vast area. Shobit is from the practice side of the insolvency and bankruptcy. There is academic and research side to it as well. just like Shobit mentioned that he's also heading a research center of Lloyd Law College. Similarly, I think IBBI also has its own research centers.
Absolutely.
And if you work with IBBI, I'm not saying you intern. If you work with IBBI in one of its research centers, or let's say its research team, there you will be required to have a prior information and knowledge about economics, basic concepts of economics and commerce. So, if you study these things, it not only helps you in research and academic side of insolvency and bankruptcy, and of course practice side, they are very handy.
The second question, इसका ही second leg है कि what type of knowledge is required. So at least the business sense of it, so that you can make out the business sense of it, that is limited. Of course, for a typical balance sheet, a lawyer will not be able to ace it. You will certainly require an expert opinion on that, like a CA. He will able to crack that, balance sheet के क्या इसने entry की है. अच्छा, Kanishk is asking, sir, what is the effect of moratorium on IBC? So अभी मोरेटोरियम से आईबीसी के लिए डेफरमेंट हुआ है कि जब तक मोरेटोरियम पीरियड है, like starting from the day the national lockdown was announced, like March 24 or March 25th. See, from that time, March 27th, in fact, till that from that time till 6 months, there will be no insolvency proceedings against any company for the period under this default, for the default under this period. Before that, yes, you can raise it. However, NCLT is not opening, so only the very urgent matters are taken on for hearing through video conferences. So effect of moratorium is that no fresh insolvency petition will be taken up by the court for the default under this period. I'll just show you how you can check the laws on the IBBI website. I'll just share it with you. अभी दिख रहा है IBBI website? Utkarsh?
Shobit, I can see the this only page where all the notices are given.
Just
the
hold on.
notification page is only visible. Now
Just
we
hold
can.
on.
Now,
What about now?
Yeah, now.
Yeah. So you go to this website. ठीक है? Go to legal framework. Go to act. This is the amendment ordinance. ठीक है? यहाँ पे सारे एक्ट आएंगे. You click on them. A PDF follows. Whereas COVID-19 has impacted business, financial market, and economy all over the world, including India, and created uncertainty and stress for certain for reasons beyond their control. You coming back? After Section 10 of the Principal Act, the following sections shall be inserted, namely, suspension of the initiation of corporate insolvency resolution process. Notwithstanding anything contained in Section 7, 9, and 10, an application for initiation of corporate insolvency resolution process of a corporate debtor shall be filed for any default arising on and after 25th March for a period of 6 years of the not exceeding 1 year from date as may be. So no application for initiation is filed. And this is how, and this has come from the President, Mr. Ramnath Kovind. So this is how you check law on the IBBI website. You go to the website, go to the legal framework, go to act, and these are all updated. So this is the most updated website ever after MCA. No other website will be so much updated. It is updated on a minute basis. If something important, urgent matters in a happens in a any matter happens in a court of law, will be published here on a real-time basis. So I guess we are done with the questions. Utkarsh? What is macro environment? What do you mean by macro environment? Nishant?
Nishant, can you explain the question?
Right, sir. It includes the like the impact of insolvency, bankruptcy on the fiscal policy or the GDP as a whole of the country, and the macro aspect of the economy as such.
Yeah, see, so what happens is, the subject insolvency, it's a matter of, it's not a matter of policy as such, it's a matter of law. One. Second is, it is vice versa. In fact, where it is actually inverse. Any GDP policy, any policy, fiscal policy has an impact on the IBC. Not that IBC has an impact on the fiscal policy. Of course, IBC has an impact on the GDP of the company in the long run. What happens is कि आज कोई नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट हुआ तो बैंक क्या करेगा, इन्फोर्स करेगा. अगर बैंक इन्फोर्स नहीं कर पाया तो उसको प्रोविजनिंग करनी होती है उस लोन की. तो क्या होता है प्रोविजनिंग, कि बैंक ने जितना भी उस क्वार्टर में प्रॉफिट अर्न किया है, उस प्रॉफिट में से जितना ये डिफॉल्ट हुआ है उसको प्रोविजनिंग में लगाना पड़ता है. अपनी जेब से ही उसको नुकसान भरना पड़ता है. तो ओवरऑल प्रॉफिट बैंकिंग सेक्टर का कम हो जाता है, एंड हेंस ये लंबे रन में जीडीपी को अफेक्ट करता है, और इंसॉल्वेंसी को अफेक्ट करता है हमारी फिस्कल पॉलिसी. देन दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स. निशांत?
I agree. Any other question from the students? I see around 40 participants. Any other questions from the other students?
Is there any
Okay.
possibility for the suspension of bankruptcy laws like labor laws? So there is always, Ram, I guess we have just discussed that there is suspension in the initiation of the corporate insolvency resolution process. So labor law में relaxation आया है, इसमें भी relaxation है. That no fresh insolvency cases will be initiated for a period after March 25th.
I hope, Ram, you got the answer. Okay. I think Shobhit will come to the close of the session now. Before I request my student coordinator to propose a vote of thanks, because I could not introduce you in this session, I'll first of all thank you for accepting my request.
Thank you so much, Akash.
And in such a short time, you agreed, and hopefully whenever the situations are normal, I'll call you in the university.
Would love to.
And Ayush has already interned with you. He is appreciated how whatever you taught him. I hope, Ayush, you'll be finding it useful. But this semester also, I'll be sending a few students to you so that you can guide them in internship. And see if that is possible. This is a request from my side, not as a friend, but as a person representing DNLU. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In your dual capacity.
In my dual capacity. Secondly, in response to your question that you asked, that how is my class? My class is wonderful. I'm loving teaching, and
I'm really sure.
Yeah, because I was into it since those days, and I'm loving my profession. Now I request, thank you so much, Shobhit, once again.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir, for sparing
Thank you.
time for our students.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you so much, sir.
I have a call to attend in another 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, Shobhit, can we have Adhiraj and then we'll close the session?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Now I'd like to propose my vote of thanks. So good morning to one and all present here. With this, we conclude today's webinar. On behalf of all the participants and Dharmashastra National Law University, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, and for this enriching and wonderful session. We thank you for sharing your valuable insights in this field. And I would also like to thank Utkar sir and Shruti ma'am for their constant guidance and tireless efforts. And I would like to congratulate all the participants for making this webinar a success. And I would like to thank Arpit Sanjay for his help in coordinating the webinar. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thank
It was a
you.
wonderful time. Wonderful time. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Take care.
Yeah.
Stay
Take
safe.
care. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.